Hello and welcome to JATV's Amazing People, Incredible Stories. This is a new series that will explore all over Scotland to find people and help share their story. As a new podcast, it's something that we've done new, but our first story comes from Glasgow. Lauren Reid passed away in February 2020 after suffering an asthma attack followed by a cardiac arrest. An inhaler in her workplace would have saved her life, and now her mum, Elaine, has been campaigning to introduce either changes to existing laws or to introduce a new Lauren's Law. She has launched a petition and has the backing of friends, family, her football team and so many more. So I'm really honoured that Elaine has agreed to come and share with us Lauren's story and also information about the campaign and how you can get in touch. Please do, if you don't watch any further, please do this. You can visit www.laurenslaw.co.uk and sign the petition. That's the most important thing you could do to support the campaign. Second most important thing is to share it. Two very, very simple things. If you are interested in supporting the campaign, please email us at contact@jtvscotland.com and we will put you in touch with Elaine. So, our first episode, Amazing People, Incredible Stories. Episode 1 is Lauren's Law. Elaine, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
So my first question, I've been reading a lot, right, about what's been out in the media and stuff. You've put news stories out, but I'd like to hear about Lauren. So what was Lauren like as a person, as a daughter, as a friend?
Oh, fun. The fun. She would make me laugh. Just every single night as soon as she came in for work, she would sit on my couch and just, she was maybe watching a programme and it would just be banter, 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 laugh, laugh, laugh. One of the kindest, nicest people ever. And I'm not just saying that because she's my daughter. Everyone did say it in the hospital at one point during all the support about how kind she was, that she bought everybody their phone covers, their T-shirts, you know. She was just one in a million, simply the best.
So Lauren's dream job was to cook, to work as a chef. She became a qualified chef. How proud were you as a mother, and how proud was Lauren when she achieved that?
Well, I'll be honest, Lauren was a bit of a cheeky little girl at school, and the only subject she was liked in and was allowed to be in the class was home economics. So she loved food, making it, eating it. Just her face was never out the fridge. But for being so thin, she could get away with it. And I just wanted to say that she actually passed her chef to be a chef a year and a half early. She loved her job that much that she just hammered through it, and by 19 years of age, she was a fully qualified chef.
So we'll go on to talk about Laura suffers from asthma.
Yeah.
One of the things that I didn't know, but you said to me, was it's Asthma Awareness Month. As well, so is it the month?
Yes, it is this whole month. Yeah.
So, what sort of things is going on this month?
Well, I've been doing a lot of campaigning on TikTok where we've got over 1 million views. We've got a great following on there. We've got the Facebook page that is 600 people in that already. We've got the Parliament petition running at the moment. We've got awareness wristbands. We've got I was talking last night to someone and I'm in the middle of trying to plan a charity zip line over the River Clyde.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I hope you're getting involved in that.
I don't worry, I'll be there.
So really it's just about promoting this month, really. Getting it out there, getting Lauren's name out there. And it's not just about Lauren, it's about all the other people that we can help through it.
So that's everything you've got going on, but now we'll talk about the reasons why. So one day, it was February 2019.
February 2020.
Do you remember 2020? You remember that day?
Can't forget.
Like, do you remember how it started?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So it just started as a normal day.
She got up at her usual to get ready to go to work and start. I think it was round about 8 o'clock she left. I hadn't heard from her most of the day. It was quite quiet from her, which normally she texts us back and forward. But my mum heard from her at 4:30. And the kind girl that she was, she said, Gran, I'm going down to McDonald's to get 10 people their lunch. We're so busy. I'm going to get everybody's and bring it back up for them. That was the last conversation my mum had with her. I didn't hear anything from her. And then at 9 o'clock at night, when she finished her shift, I got a phone call.
And what was it that happened?
The phone call was, it was a workmate that had asked me from Lauren's phone to bring along her inhalers to her work in Glasgow. And at first, with it being 9 o'clock at night, I thought she was kidding on. And I says, no, you're kidding me on. I'm in my bed 9 o'clock on a Friday night. No, I'm not coming. And in the background, I heard Lauren shouting, my mum panicking. And the phone got hung up on me. And then seemingly straight away, she took a massive cardiac arrest caused by asthma attack.
So what was going through your mind when the phone cut off?
Why she not answering? Yeah. Where's my girl? Get a taxi. I don't drive. I'm home alone. I need to get my girl. I need to get to her. So I got a taxi, found her inhalers, and I'm going, but why didn't she have her inhalers with her? Because
I seen that was something that she would normally...
She slept with her inhaler in her hand. So why just this one time did she not have it? Did she run out during the day? My mum's wondering. Maybe she finished it during the day, that she was having a bad episode, and adoring the job that she did, she wouldn't have admitted how bad she was feeling, knowing Lauren.
And I think I read as well that in a chef, for a chef to work in that atmosphere, there's fumes, there's flour, there's things that can contribute to an asthma attack, where you could literally be fine 1 second, and then if you're breathing this in, it could spark.
Yeah, and the restaurant was fully booked that night as well, so it was the heat inside.
You can imagine a Friday night how busy it was, and maybe as you said, she went out to get people's lunch because people can even stop to eat. Which makes it even more sadder, because at the end of the day, nothing should like take over your life. I say that to people here, like my work, like your work is one thing, but your life and your health and
your life
is more important than somebody's meal or whatever.
Please always take a break, you know. And if you're having an asthma attack, I know a lot of chefs now, through doing a lot of research, that don't like to say when they're all through their asthma. Neither did Lauren. She wouldn't want to go to doctors, and the week before I did actually make an appointment and made her go, and after she'd passed away, I found that she'd left her steroids, and half the steroids and half the antibiotics, and didn't eat them. She didn't finish them all.
So the night that Lauren, she had an asthma attack, a cardiac arrest, she went to hospital, but she was was it a coma she was in, or was she on that ventilator?
Well, by the time I arrived into town, the taxi driver didn't know where to go. Merchant City was quite hard to find to get into it. So I could see the flashing lights and I could hear the sirens, and I knew, and I'm going, that's my girl, that's for my girl. And eventually I ran in and I saw her boss and I shouted, what's happening? And the ambulance people will tell you, just jump in. So Lauren was in another ambulance and I get put into another one. And the ambulance driver never told me how bad it was, and it wasn't until I got into the Royal.
Do you think they knew how serious it was at the time?
Yeah, because as soon as she took the cardiac arrest, one of her bosses was with her, and he was giving her CPR, yeah. Well, someone was sent from the work around to AXM to get the defibrillator to start her heart again, and came back without it. So I'm not blaming that person, obviously, you know, it's just they would have been in a panic. So that would be something else that I would like to work on as well, as maybe staff training, because I certainly never knew what a defibrillator
to be honest,
was.
Just a few weeks ago there was a guy that he'd passed out outside me to phone 999, and they gave me a code for the defibrillator on Buchanan Street. So they actually gave me the code. I went down just as that, in case they needed it. They never needed it. The guy, like, I think he was drunk or like whatever, but they didn't need it, but it was there. And I know this for the past, the defibrillators can restart. It's got a 97% success rate restarting the heart.
Yeah.
But CPR is, the purpose of CPR is just to keep the oxygen flowing, but there's a very low success rate of restarting.
But there wouldn't have been any oxygen if she was having the asthma attack anyway.
Yeah. Oh, is that right?
Yeah, there wouldn't be any oxygen. That's what closed it. Our arteries closed over. Our arteries closed over, which stopped the oxygen getting to her brain, causing cardiac arrest.
Because I don't think people understand how quickly
an asthma attack can come on.
Like how quickly the asthma attack can come on, and then the urgency for keeping oxygen in the system, like within 3 minutes. Like that's the most crucial part.
Lauren's heart had stopped for 35 minutes. So if they came back with that defib, would she have still been here?
There's a lot of sort of, and I suppose this is the reason why in Lauren's honour and Lauren's legacy is going to be Lauren's law. I fully believe you'll achieve this and it'll become law.
Thank you.
And I know that there's going to be people that, like I said earlier, there'll be children that aren't even born yet that are going to benefit from this law.
Yeah, thank you. I hope so.
And the thing is that if you, even just saving one life, or even just increasing the knowledge, asthma and how devastating it can be, and for somebody how traumatic. Like if you just increase that, then you're teaching people as you go. I know you've got a lot of work kicking off, and I can see why you're someone that you've lost your daughter, and now people want to be involved in campaigning for Lauren's law to become law. And it's, when I seen your story, like this is something that I've been planning for ages, but just because of the lockdown and stuff, I pulled back and all that stuff, and I was like, and I seen that story, and then I seen the pictures, and I was like, it's no one should go to work and no return, but no mother should have to like bury their daughter or they need to have this. But I do think there's a purpose for things, and I think Lauren's law, when it becomes law, like when you're pushing it through, there's a reason this is happening, to save other lives and to make it, because it'll become law here and then it'll ripple out in all over the world. You probably have it, and it's something like the inhalers. Is it the inhaler, or is it a drug that's in the inhaler?
Sorry, what do you mean?
So what is the? So I see there was a name of the drug.
Salbutamol.
Salbutamol.
Yeah, that's just Ventolin. It's just another word for Ventolin.
So that's because it is usually two inhalers.
It's the blue inhalers. It wouldn't do anybody any harm. I was aiming to work on. Well, I am kind of aiming to work on self-administration for it. For the person that's maybe, if Lauren felt an attack coming on, should have went and took it herself. But we've also found these kits as well that comes with a throwaway spacer which attaches on to the Ventolin. Yeah. So if someone like Lauren, the way she did go down, they could put it on and administer it to them. Now Ventolin wouldn't do any harm at all, as I say, it wouldn't. So I'm at the respiratory doctors as well myself, so I've been speaking to them about it, and they think it's such a fantastic idea. For less than £1 it would cost to put into a first aid kit. And
the thing is, like, employers have a responsibility to look after their staff, and if somebody is known to them as being asthmatic, they should. I was thinking even employers should do it, even if it's no law yet. Start, like, have guidelines where you say, employers, listen, we want you to sign up and have this in your premises, regardless of what the law says. Yeah. And then when you see it working, you see that it's not that difficult to do, and it's because it's something that just seems so small, it can make such a big impact. But Lauren, I think it was 4 days she was in the hospital.
Yes.
And I heard, like, the nurses, even my mum's a nurse, so I know sometimes how attached they can get to some patients, but I heard the nurses they were upset and said that they'd never seen such it was like a 24-hour vigil like around Lauren.
It was, yeah.
What was that? What was that like?
It was outside the intensive care ward as well as inside. So she had her own separate room, and the family members were all called up immediately, obviously, you know, and he's looking at me, the doctor was looking at me saying, I'm so sorry. And I'm saying, but don't be sorry, just go in there and fix her. It's only an asthma attack. We've had them all our life. It's okay, she'll be okay. Just go in and fix her. Never mind me, I'm fine sitting here. No, I'm so sorry, he kept saying, and I think you should phone someone. And I'm an independent person, and I'm going, no, it's okay. just go in and fix her. And I was getting, so eventually I did phone my best friend and then my mum. And then I was told to phone the family, so the family all came up. So that was the 7th. Lauren fell down with it. On the 9th, that's her official date, she was pronounced dead. And on the 11th, I was made to switch her off by life support because her brain was called combing round her spine.
It's like it's pressurised.
The pressure, yeah. So basically, her brain would have swollen and blew up if I didn't switch it off. So as a heartbreaking thing, they told me 12 o'clock. I said, no, 1 o'clock. If they'd have said 1 o'clock, I'd have said 2 o'clock. So, but it was also outside was all the support. So it was inside Lauren's actual room and outside in the whole intensive care unit. Just chock-a-block from first thing.
I think Lauren knew you were there.
Yeah, there was a tear coming out every now and again. That's why I believe she knew we were there right to the end.
And it's probably been a comfort to her. Like, I mean, we spoke earlier about my friend who recently passed away, and I was saying about the attachment that you get and how sometimes he was Muslim, so that the funeral was very fast, and it's like the reason is to allow the person to go. Like we sort of have this selfishness where we don't want someone to go.
We don't want them to go, yeah.
We want to keep hold of them, but at the same time, if someone's in pain, it's the hardest thing in the world. And I don't think I never understood death. I've had grandparents that passed away, and it's different because people are older. You have a sort of, you don't expect it, but it's you're walking. You understand
it's
when someone
easier.
old.
Yeah.
But when someone young passes away, or you've had to be involved in making that decision, it makes it all tougher.
Mm-hmm.
But you still feel the person. That's a weird thing I felt like with my mate. I felt like my heart had been ripped out my chest, and for days I was just crying until I thought I couldn't cry anymore. And then when I met up with his brothers and I seen his mum, I broke down again. So you have these instances. I was walking down Buchanan Street a few weeks ago, and I was smiling at people just because for nothing, just seeing wee kids running with their families or whatever, and then something just set off, and I just start crying because I think about my mate.
Yeah.
But it's like I still feel him.
Yeah.
And I don't think until you've experienced something as traumatic as that you must still feel Lauren around.
Definitely.
We've got a photo here, and it's there's still a presence about her.
Yeah. Can you feel her just now?
Yeah,
I do as well.
And that's what it's, and it's like when I seen, and that's probably what stood out to me about this article, because like I don't even remember ever reading like articles online. So I just seen your picture. I think you were holding a picture of Lauren.
That one.
And then when I clicked the article, I was like, I need to meet Elaine, and I've been reading like the same article again and again and again just to try, because I could kind of imagine what she was like as a person.
Oh my!
And working hard, and I've worked in a restaurant, and I know how intense it can be and how hard people need to work. So I used to do 14-hour shifts 7 days a week.
So and
you're working like crazy.
Yeah,
and then I was like, if you like see my mate passed away, I felt this guilt. Like, why was I not there? What could I have done?
Yeah, why didn't I get in time?
Right, it's like, and you can't change it. You can't. That's the thing. You can't change.
But being a mum, I'm like,
yeah.
I'm supposed to be the one there to protect her.
I think,
and I didn't make it in time.
I think now what you're doing is you're carrying on the life. Lauren still exists. The president's still here. Lauren's law will become law, and the impact of that will save people's life, and it gives you a focus and a purpose as well to focus on. Because I think grief, like I try and explain it to people who don't know, is that you're not people think, oh, this is life, you get over it, stuff like that. You don't.
No.
It's about learning to live with
your pain,
the difference of that person not being there. And I just think when I see the picture of Lauren, it just feels like there's still life there, and this is probably what's rippling out, and you're the person carrying that. Mm-hmm. Do you get time for yourself?
No.
That's one thing I was thinking, is like, do you? And is there a reason for that?
Lauren's law. It's the most important thing in my life now. it's my world. She was my world, so sorry. This is going to be my world. It is. It's like she was my baby, so this campaign is my baby. That's what it feels like now.
Sorry. I never had tissues here.
It's okay. I'm used to doing that all year. It's okay.
So what is we'll talk about the campaign, because already you've done fantastic. You've got a petition, that's with the UK government you're raising, and we'll be putting the details up. You can check out laurenslaw.co.uk for the petition to sign. We'll also be sharing it on our social media and stuff. But the petition is one step. You've already been speaking to chefs and MPs and politicians and people that want to get on board with the campaign.
Yes, some people have been amazing, absolutely. I can't believe how many people are actually reaching out to help me, and the support is what is getting me through it.
So going forward, when is there hope for this to be soon, or do you think this is a long campaign, or do you need people to really throw their weight behind it as well to get it there?
I really need people behind me just to sign the petition. That's all I need. I'll do all the hard work, I don't mind. She was my baby, I will do it for her. I just ask people just sign it, you know. I'll go and do everything else that needs to be done.
And I think as well, people like my nephew years ago, he got rushed to hospital when it wasn't asthma, but it was an acute form of it. So he had to go to hospital with a ventilator and stuff, and the
bronchiolitis maybe.
It can really hit, like breathing issues like this can hit anyone. You don't know, you could have a child that has asthma, and that's why I would ask that this is something so simple that people can sign up to.
Yeah.
If you do anything, sign the petition, right? If you share it, that's another thing. If you send it to somebody that you can, or if you post in your Facebook or whatever, if you do want to write to your MP, your MSP or whatever and tell them to get behind it, that there is ways that people can support it. You said earlier you're going to be raising money. Is it for charity or for the campaign? So you're going to be
well, I started the bands, the awareness wristbands, really just I just thought, I don't know, I just want something out there with our name on it, so that was the first thing I kind of started, and I was selling them online for charity. And then the charity I wanted it to go to was Asthma UK, obviously, as well, but I would also like to first of all thank, but really I want to give back to the Glasgow Royal Infirmary, the intensive care unit. Both Lauren, myself and my family just couldn't have been looked after any better. I've spoke to both nurses after it happened, and I've gave them little guardian angels to look after them because they looked after my little angel.
You've kept in touch with the nurses?
Yes. I heard that one of the girls that had to actually do it at the time, she had to take some time off her work because it hurt her so bad. And another girl, she had got in touch via one of Lauren's friends she'd met up in a bar with, and she was on the phone to me as well. I was FaceTiming her, so it was lovely to speak to her. I do have her name, but because of all this COVID, you know, I've not wanted to bother them. You know, I've wanted them. I know they're angels, you know, and they've got a hard job as it is to do, and I just want to take my hat off to those girls. You know, they were phenomenal.
And Lauren's friends, you still see them? They're still around?
Oh, very much so, yeah. My girls, yeah. Going out on Saturday with them to celebrate.
So, other than the support network around you, you get, as I said, you get politicians. Is there anyone that you're targeting to say, listen, you're the person responsible for making this law? Is that person's decision, or have you just building the campaign more generally to just attack, like to get any politician to make it? Yeah,
right at the moment I think we're really just trying to pull in any politicians that's willing to get on board and help. I do have a MP from Bathgate that's helping at the moment, putting a post up on his Facebook page. I'm also going to be emailing a lot of other people as well. You know, it's just kind of trying to lift it all off the ground just now, and lots of support on TikTok as well. You know, people getting in touch saying I'll put it out on my social media page.
So we're both Rangers fans, and I know that you've been getting this. Is just, I didn't know you were a Rangers fan until you mentioned me yesterday. But you said you're getting a lot of support from the Rangers supporters and some of the bars and stuff. What sort of stuff have they been doing?
Well, since day one, there's a saying in Rangers, not just a team, a family. And I bet you'll understand that now you see this. Right from the start, you know, I've had a letter from Stephen Gerrard saying condolences on her year's memory. Lauren, I started taking Lauren since she was 4-year-old to the games. I do have a son as well, but he's not into football whatsoever. And like her mum, she was daft on her football, absolutely Rangers daft. She was also a massive Partick Thistle fan as well. But Rangers was her first love. She had her season ticket in the Broomloan stand since she was a child.
So what was it like going to the games or seeing? Did you think? Obviously, it's been a crazy year for Rangers. It's not done yet.
Wow, I know.
So, you think Lauren's looking down? Rangers, do you think it's her that gave them the push?
Well, do you know, I'm not just saying this, but back at the time when it did happen, February 2020, I said to her, Lauren, we're doing 55. We're doing it. I knew it in my heart. I knew we were doing it. I don't know, maybe she has. And with Fernando passing just a few months before that, Lauren passed away with her Fernando scarf on and her Rangers top on. She first saw Fernando Rickson when she was 7 at the Zenit game. I took her to Ibrox, not to Manchester. She was too young for that. She was only 7. So we took her to Ibrox. What a day she had. Her wee strip, her hat, her flag, her ball. She just had... And that was when her love of Fernando Rickson started. And now I always see a magpie for Lauren coming back. And when I see 2, and if she comes on a Rangers day, I go, that's her with Fernando Rickson coming back. So I feel the 2 of them have pushed our team on this year.
That's the thing about football, is that I always talk to people and I say, see when you get 50,000 people in a stadium or millions of people around the world and you're waiting for that goal or that, like, and that feeling that everybody has is like, that's what for me when I try and explain, because I can be sort of, I have faith but I don't really follow a religion, but that's to me what religion is, like that love that everybody shares and that eagerness together. And that power that people can do together. And I sort of suppose that's what's sort of still living through you with the campaign. Absolutely.
I don't know if you know this or not as well, but as soon as it happened, the game at the weekend, it was the Dunfermline game, and it was cancelled on the Saturday because it was too wet, so it was made to the Sunday. Now, never in my lifetime have I ever known a game to be made the very next day. And we had a massive 50,000 round of applause at Ibrox for Lauren, and that is just one of the most special moments that will live in my heart forever. And just since then, the Rangers family have just been amazing. Not only Rangers, you know, I do have a lot of Celtic friends as well. I'm not just saying it's just that, but no, just the support from the club and the fans.
I suppose it's emotional when if you can sort of feel. I'm feeling.
Yeah, I know you feel her about, don't you?
When
she
you're
is.
About it, like,
she's in and out.
You like, I could just imagine being there and feeling that sort of love and atmosphere, and you'd like
your belly's so cold.
It'd be like a roller coaster.
Yeah, that's what it feels like now.
And it's a nice thing for people, like, because I was speaking, the area that I'm from, like, after my mate had passed, there was a few young guys or younger brothers that didn't know my mate, and I'm speaking to them and I want to speak about them and I want people to know about them. And I suppose this is what you're doing with Lauren as well, is telling people what's her story, what she was like, these memories that you have, because it can then live on, and Lauren still you still feel around and feel alive.
Absolutely, she'll never be forgotten.
With this, with Lauren's Law, as I said, I think it's something so simple that needs to happen.
I agree.
And I can imagine somebody at some point is going to be in a similar situation what Lauren was in, panicking and not knowing what to do. And if that is there, then that's going to just give them that comfort,
just that
reassurance.
Could save their life.
And it's something that I'm determined to help you any way I can. Any events or photos or like come on for other podcasts or record your own podcast or whatever.
Fantastic.
Or ask questions, get politicians in, and we'll do. I genuinely think that there's a reason that everything is sort of happened, and it often happens by accident. You can't really quite understand, but and as you said, there's probably, before we went on the other, I've probably banged into Lauren at some point.
Probably.
Might have passed her in the street,
town,
or like my sister and my nephews and that went to Rangers games, like they've got season tickets. They probably like you never know what the connection is. And I'm not going to rack my brain to find out what it is.
But I do always find there is a connection with
there
the
will
people
be,
that help
there
me.
will
Yeah.
be. And I just hope that going forward we can do it, and I see it happening. I think you do too, and I think
Yeah, I do.
like,
I'm very, very, very optimistic.
the only thing I think about what I'm going to be worried about is what happens afterwards.
Afterwards, then
Is enforcing the law.
I would like to then go on to like, EpiPens, defibrillators. You know, there's loads to be working on. So I don't want to just see like inhalers as the end of it. You know, I just want Lauren's Law to continue helping anybody.
So right now, so I forgot to mention earlier, is that in schools, the inhalers are available in schools. How does that work?
That law was amended in 2014 to be, when Lauren was at school, it had to be her own one with her name on it, kept in the office. Lauren was at a school that was 3 flights up that had no lift in it. So see, by the time she got up there in primary school, she could hardly breathe. And then she'd had to go away back down to the office or get someone to go and get it to bring it away back up. So that law was amended in 2014 for the schools to be allowed to just keep a general ventilator inhaler for instances like this. So this is what we're working along as. It will be harder to make a new law, as in Lauren's law, to make that new law. But to amend the law shouldn't be a problem because they done it for schools. There's no reason why it can't be done for kitchens and other first aid kits.
So it works in schools?
Yes.
It works, it saves lives when kids need it?
Yes, it's in all Scotland schools now, yeah. I'm not sure about England, I'll have to look that one up actually, but I know in Scotland, yep, all schools keep a general one.
This is what just seems so like crazy that it's not, because it's, as I said, for me it's employers that even responsibility to do this regardless of the law, but if the law's telling them have it in place,
yeah, you've got to have it.
And these, I mean, in places like kitchens and stuff, you've got somebody that's first aid trained. You should always have bars and things like that. Should have somebody that's first aid trained. So I think you need it for the personal license. I'm not sure, but they should have somebody that is able to even assist somebody who's struggling, who has an asthma attack. Now talking back to you, right? You said earlier that you've not had really time to yourself. What happens? That there must be a time when you just feel like it's getting too much, or there's a lot on your shoulders, and you probably would do you some good to just blow off, but you can't.
I don't. I just sit at home. I've got 2 big dogs. That's my reason to get up now every morning now. If I didn't have them, I would be in my bed all day doing nothing. But what's my reason? I don't sleep very well at night now, and like the minute my eyes open in the morning, it's just check my social media, and it's just who can I get this campaign out to, check my TikTok, check my Instagram, check my Facebook. So
but as making traction, I mean, you were waiting outside my shop for me. I came out. Are you allowed to talk about that yet? What you told me?
If you want, yeah, I'm embarrassed.
I guess, and that's the thing. Like us Scottish people don't like somebody saying "well done," but this is amazing what you've done so far. But I seen you outside. You were a bit teary-eyed. I came out and gave you a hug, say hello, and then you told me. What did you tell me?
I've been nominated for a Pride of Britain award,
which is massive. I was going to swear. I was going to say effing massive.
In the special category award. I might not get picked, but I've been nominated.
Even the nomination, because
itself,
it's something that I was thinking about. I was like, there needs to be other recognition, and I know sometimes you're going to feel like it's not just about you; it's about Lauren.
Oh, it's about Lauren. It's not me.
When you're nominated, when you're gone there, it's to make this people that can help and will put their name out and back in and stuff. They'll see what you've done, and I think you're a determined person.
Very
and
much.
I sort of feel Lauren coming through with
Yeah,
you.
She's my double.
Yeah,
She's just
it's like
me.
I keep picturing in my head what she'd be like, and I'd be like, if it was the other way about, she'd be doing the same thing.
Oh, she would. We were like twins at times.
And that's why I think it is so important, and why I wanted to get you on. So this is our first podcast. There is a few other people. I don't think anybody. It's going to be a long time before I meet somebody that's got a story like yours. And the good thing is that this is really much at the beginning of the story
of the campaign, yeah.
And the beginning of the campaign, and it's going to go. It's going to go even further, and I can't wait to see it.
Thank you. I was given the advice the other day that I do need people to kind of help me on the campaign, because I'm burning myself out. Sometimes
that's what I was worrying about. That's what my worry was, is that but when you have that energy and that passion, that's going to push you. But I'm just worried that there's going to be a time where you need to just, and it's all right today. It's all right to say, listen, I'm taking a few days off. I know it's hard. Turn the phones off. Stay away from it. I know it's difficult. And just take a step back. But I think what you're achieving, people take years to get to this stage with campaigns.
Thank you.
I've been involved in campaigns, and it takes years of planning and who do you speak to and all this. And I think you've just sort of went for it.
Thank you so much. It means a lot.
All honestly, I wish you're the best. But I know I feel part of the campaign with you.
Thank you.
And this is what it's going to do. It's going to start bringing people in. But I cut you off there, sorry. So you were saying, you
were talking about burning myself out. 2 days before Lauren's anniversary in February, I did burn myself out, and I took a massive asthma attack in my doctor's surgery. Luckily,
so you suffer from asthma as well?
Yes, I do. I always have done. Yeah.
Oh, you said to me earlier.
Yeah, always since both of us since newborn, me and Lauren. Yeah. And I was going to my doctor's to get the steroids that Lauren didn't finish, but I went to get mine on 2 days before her anniversary, and I got into the doctor and I took a massive attack, and it's like your head goes dizzy, you can't hear what's going on in the background. So I was rushed in and put onto nebulizer, which didn't work, so then I was rushed onto 4 litres of oxygen, and I had to say to her, you need to put it up to 6, I know. So, but in and out of the Royal Infirmary again, and it turned out the nurse that was looking after me brought Lauren in from resus that night. Now you say things are meant to happen.
What's it like when you have an asthma attack? Because it almost must feel like you're drowning.
I explain it's like cotton wool in your chest. In fact, it's like it just now. You've got to breathe the air through the cotton wool to get into your diaphragm or in your lungs. You can't fill your lungs up. It's heavy. You've got to all the time, and then see when you take too much inhaler, you end up all shaky because the adrenaline that's running through it. But it won't do you any harm. It just makes you shaky. That's all. But you must take your steroid inhaler as well. A preventative steroid inhaler is a must as well if you've been offered it by the doctor.
Do you think that I remember my sisters suffered from epilepsy, and they were all sort of trained in how to deal with the initial, if she took a seizure, how to keep her head safe and stuff like that for a very young age. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, even children at school could be taught like the basics, get the inhaler, get this, get that. Yeah. And again, it doesn't take, because I remember there's a young boy who was diabetic, and in our school we were told if we ever weigh him, and it happened, he's got a wee chain, and you opened it up and it gave all the details and stuff. Now you can do emergency things on your phone and stuff. I don't think a lot of people know about it. But you start from a young age, and even this could be what happens if just small, like an hour's training to a kid in school.
My best friend's son, who was only 6 at the time, went into his class with one of the Lauren's Law wristbands on, and his teacher says, "Oh, what's that?" And he was explaining, I called her our big cousin. He says, "My big cousin, she passed away from asthma, and this is her awareness wristbands." And the teacher says, "Well, do you know what? I've actually got asthma," and she gave the whole class a talk. The company that I work alongside with, he works alongside colleges, so when they go in to talk about coming to become a chef, he's going to add asthma into his itinerary as well.
So I mean that these wee things make big, massive impacts, and it's things that you think, I mean, we're in 2021, should already been happening.
Yeah, and I think why would it take just me, a simple young mum from Glasgow.
Because there would be other people that have lost people through asthma attacks.
Yeah. I've spoke to 4 other parents since this has happened that children have lost through asthma. 16-year-old, 15-year-old, you know, all over Great Britain. So I've got a lot of support down in Wales as well. Can I just say about the petition actually?
Yeah.
I do sit and watch it. I know I shouldn't, but I do sit and watch it. And there's a wee bit that you can go into and it shows you like the constituencies of where it's signed. Did you see it?
Yeah.
The whole of Scotland and the whole of Ireland have signed it.
Wow.
Every single constituency. And I can now see England popping up little bits here, there and everywhere. So that to me is pride.
Yeah, it's because it's as I said, the rippling out Lauren's law, but Lauren's love is in Lauren's life. It's like it's starting to ripple out. And I genuinely think when people hear for you and see what you're doing, they're going to feel this urge to get involved. I don't think anyone's going to be able to help it.
Thank
you. Hopefully, like you'll start seeing this springing up. And with the Pride of Britain would be amazing. But even that aside, what you're doing is you're sort of you bulldoze straight through to get people's attention and to tell Lauren's story. And it is about her legacy and about saving other lives. And as you said, after Lauren's law, and you start looking at things like the defibrillators and the EpiPens and stuff like that, because it's
even just training for the defibrillators, because I never knew anything about one until, you know, it was too late for Lauren. But you know, there's always going to be training of some kind, you know, and I need to train myself before I can train other people on it. And
I think your personality as well is you're a likeable, loving person. You can feel that. And you're going to be able to get people's attention, and they're going to want to listen to your story. Much. So I'm genuinely excited to where it goes. I think from something that's been obviously so traumatic for you to then keep going and bring something really positive that's you're heading in that direction. But I worried that sometimes you just need to take time for yourself, because you're needed. You're needed to do this, and if anything happens to you, then you don't know where this will go. So you need you around, and you need you to go through it. And I can't wait. I can picture it in my head already. Your name getting called out, winning the Pride of Britain Awards, and Lauren's law becoming law.
And Lewis Capaldi giving me the award.
So Lauren she's a massive Lewis Capaldi fan. Tell me that story.
Oh, Lauren would go in the bathroom, right, and she would have to use the speaker with the phone in the shower, and it would be constant repeat, Lewis Capaldi, just over and over and over. And obviously I adore him as well. So I got her a signed CD before her Christmas, and on the night of her funeral, well, I call it our goodbye day actually, I don't like calling it the funeral, but on the day of her goodbye day, we used 2 of his songs, Before You Go and Someone You Loved. And at the crematorium we had the big screen up, and pictures of Lauren were getting played over and over to Someone You Loved. Very emotional time, so it was. And on the night of her goodbye day, I managed to get tickets to go and see Lewis Capaldi the week after. And we got t-shirts printed that says Lauren 19 Gate Loudy Capaldi. And at the end of the night, obviously, I was really, really nervous, and it was like the end, and I was so emotional, and I was on the front row, and everybody was being so kind as always. I ended up in the ambulance bay, having need a drink of water, and I saw Lewis Capaldi's friends, and I'm shouting, Aidan. So Lewis Capaldi's actual bodyguard came over to us and says, "Can I help you?" And my friend said, she's just lost her daughter to asthma, who was a massive Lewis fan, looked at the t-shirt, and my friend says, he says to my friend, "Give me something, I'll get him to sign it for you." So my very good friend sitting in the ambulance bay with me whipped off her t-shirt right there and then in front of Lewis Capaldi's manager. And yes, I got my t-shirt signed. So thank you, Lewis, I appreciate that. But
it's amazing.
From going from such a sad moment to such a happy, fun moment, you know, it was a really fun time. That
you find these instances, like, I know I keep saying it, but when I've been down to Manchester, I spend time, 1 minute we're laughing and we're joking and we're telling stories about or remember we went to that bar and we had a big fight and we got thrown out and all this. And then the next minute you're upset again, and it's like, and this is where it's you're feeling these emotions. I was like, it's good to feel these emotions because it makes it real.
Makes it real. I call them my moment. That's what I call it. And I say, I know I'm having a moment, but I know my moment will always pass. Always. Because suicide is never an option. I've got too much to fight for.
That's what I mean. Like you're needed here, I think, more than what you probably know than and as I said, everything happens for a reason. And Lauren's love is spreading out, and you're doing amazing.
Thank you.
Like a hug.
It's just looking at my face. Thank you. Oh, it's hard, but the pride. Pride I'm feeling.
So that's us coming up. Let's see the time. So it's 45 minutes. So I was aiming for half an hour. So I think 45 minutes
flew by.
is decent. But listen, Elaine, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Jay, for having me.
This isn't the end for us. I know that for a fact.
Thank you.
My first podcast. But I can see me being part of your campaign, but honestly, anything I can do to be involved in people that I work with, I'll be sharing this, and I'll get my mum, like she's a nurse, and there'll be kids that have got asthma in the wards.
Yeah. Just
know that will see this and feel hope that somebody's fighting for them, because that's really what you're doing, and you've got not just the Rangers fans, but the Celtic. We've mentioned the Celtic fans as part of this.
Yeah,
You've got all these. You've got people behind you that want to see you do well in Lauren's name and Lauren's honour. And I genuinely wish you all the best. So
thank you very much, and thank you so much for having me and getting the story out there. Really appreciate it. And my campaign crew is starting to build, the Lauren's Law wristbands.
Can you get them anywhere if people are looking to get them?
Yes, I've got the links in my Facebook page, on Lauren's Law website. You can message me. You can message me on TikTok.
So we'll put the details up in the. I'll need to add you on TikTok.
Oh.
I posted a video the other day for a laugh. Usually I don't get anything on TikTok.
I just started as a laugh as well.
160,000 on one video. And then people are all arguing there. I'm oh God, man.
Well, the whole reason I started on TikTok was because of Lauren. She got me on because she went, Mum, you have to see Lewis Capaldi's new video. He's just too funny. And it was when the album was just coming out. Yeah. And he goes, oh, look, it's me inside my Lewis Capaldi record. And that was it. Lauren so Mum, get me on TikTok. So I was on, and then I started putting sad songs to Lauren's face. And my friend went, stop being morbid. He says, you have to do something better with it, look. And that's when the law came into my head to do. I
can imagine Lauren's probably up there getting your kick up the arse saying, no, listen, it's enough sad, have the sad songs, but I need to do something else.
It's like, do more Rangers songs, Mum. No, I can't.
But as I said, thank you so much for coming on. It's my first episode, so it means a lot to me anyway.
It means a lot to me as well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.